Well, new research shows women may be more likely than men to experience lesser-known heart attack symptoms in addition to chest pain.
Study looked at adults 55 and younger. It also showed that more than half of the doctors seeing women who seek care for those symptoms before being hospitalized might not even realize that the symptoms are heart-related. February is National Heart Month, and today we have a guest with us who knows all too well what it's like to experience those kind of heart problems. We're happy to have Kari Kehr with us here on Mid-Morning. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, you were in your mid-40s,
Yep.
right, when you experienced a heart problem, which is
Yep.
pretty young, I think. I'm sure you felt like it was younger than you would have expected.
Yeah, it was the last thing that crossed my mind.
Your original diagnosis was asthma?
The original was acid reflux.
Acid reflux.
And then if
so you just felt, tell us what you felt.
I went into my annual physical and I just said, I'm feeling this weird sensation when I work out, and it's kind of I kept saying, it's like glass coming through my lungs. So they thought, well, you must have acid reflux, and they gave me a prescription. And about 2 weeks later, I went back and said, I don't think this is acid reflux. There's something going on. And she said, I think you have asthma. So then I got an inhaler and started using that for about a week and a half. And it was probably about 10 days later, I went for a simple walk with my dog at about 9 o'clock at night. And I knew something was wrong within a block of my house. It went up my neck and down my arms. And I had been really tired leading up to this. I just didn't realize how tired I was. And I called the doctor. I waited till the next morning, which, please don't do that. It was learned from my mistake. But I waited till the next morning, went in. The new doctor ran an EKG, and within 5 minutes I was talking to a cardiologist about going in and checking my arteries. And on Friday morning, I went into Abbott Heart Hospital, and
oh my gosh.
And I had a 95% blockage in my LAD.
Which you see that there.
Yeah.
So there on the left where you see almost no blood flow.
Right.
Wow.
Hence, I was so tired, and
Of course you were tired.
I didn't realize what was going on, and I thought, honestly, it's my mid-40s. This is what women go through.
Right.
And the doctors kind of went there with me. There was no heart disease in my family. There was no reason for it. I had one bad artery.
So what signs should women be looking for?
Tired. All of a sudden, you know, they told me in cardiac rehab, when you suddenly I couldn't do 3 or 4 miles on the elliptical. I could do about a mile and I'd be exhausted. So it's a sudden change in your behavior, in working out or sleeping a lot more. I could go home and go to bed at 6:30 at night, which is very unlike me.
Sure.
The tiredness, I felt nauseated a lot. It really does feel a lot for women like an acid reflux or indigestion, and they're very similar. In fact, just last week I had some indigestion, and of course it all went through my head again, right? And I did go in and get an EKG. I just said, run an EKG, please.
And you have to advocate for yourself in that situation.
Absolutely do. I luckily went back 3 times, because if I had not, I don't know if I'd be here today.
You've made some significant lifestyle changes too, right?
I have. I started eating right. I joined a gym. I joined Bodies by Burgoon up in Northeast, and I started working out with my trainer up there, who, it made a difference to me for them to care about me as a person instead of just a number in a gym. Nothing against other gyms.
Sure,
it works for a lot of people, but I needed that
attention.
That attention. And I know when I walk in, they know about my heart. They know if I'm looking at my heart rate, they check on me. So
we're so glad that you're here to be able to tell this story. I bet. I'm sure. Kari, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.